me as a teenager and the difficulties, how challenging was it for you when I got to my teens, being an adoptee?
I do not know how much being an adoptee led to some of your wild behavior. I mean, it could happen to anybody's child. I never looked at it that way. Because we'd been told about when you hit puberty, things could go south. We had gone to a counselor. You did that for probably about a year. I don't know if it made any difference at all because you had a mind of your own. You kind of knew what you wanted to do and you were going to do it. For a while, you lived at a neighbor's house. You got in trouble at work with the check cashing thing. And I'll let you explain that if you want to. We were there for you. We helped you out. I think the experience helped you be more cautious with strangers. You were always, that was from birth, you were always very outgoing and you didn't know a stranger. Everybody became your best friend immediately.
When I was a teenager, I didn't want any rules. I didn't want to follow any rules. I didn't want to come home at midnight. On school nights, I didn't want to come home at 10 o'clock. I really just wanted to run my own life, my own rules. And I was the age of 14, 15.
15, 16.
15, 16. I would just not come home for a night. I would not come home for 2 or 3 nights. I remember there was one time where I did not come home for, I think it was a week and a half. And I ended up at my friend Kylie's house. And her parents made me tell my parents where I was. Otherwise, I wasn't allowed to stay there. So there were parents looking out for me. A friend who I ended up living with made me tell you where I was staying as well.
And we would call, if she didn't come home after school, we would start calling around. We had a list of friends and we'd start on the list. Does anybody know where Brittany is? Just so we knew where she would be. Trying to keep her as safe as possible. We didn't want her to get labeled as a runaway. If we could help it, we wanted her to eventually want to come home. And eventually she did come home. Those years, probably 2 years of really tough times. And at that time, she would have graduated in the year 2000, but she chose to drop out of school instead. As 2 teachers, that was like, what are you doing? But she did go back and get her full high school diploma, not a GED. She was very proud of that, and we were very proud for her to do that.
It took me a little longer, but I did it.
I think there was some life experience that had to happen before she was ready to do that.
As scary as those times were, it definitely taught me a lot. It is who I am today. Gave me a lot of street smarts. But I'm very lucky to have parents that loved me through all of that. And I know that they helped the people out that were taking care of me monetarily here and there to make sure that I was fed and that they weren't paying for everything. So that was extremely kind. Yeah. I didn't find that out till much later. So thank you for loving me so much.
Good thing we had all those years of easy loving before it got to be hard loving. That can happen to anybody's child. It doesn't have to be an adoptee situation. They can run wild as a teenager and then come back and be normal adults. Thank you, God.
Yay.